10 manhwa you need to be reading. The world of Korean comics is vast and complex with a lot to offer English-speaking readers. However, it's difficult to find webtoons translated into English, leaving you with a lot of untranslated material. Thankfully, there are some great sources for reading manhwa online that are worth checking out. So here is a list of some of the most popular and successful webtoons online right now. The manhwa genre attracts a lot of readers. In fact, some of the most popular webtoons online right now are in the manhwa category. So, if you are looking for something new to read or want to get into the comics medium with a bang, here are 10 great manhwa series you can start reading right away without knowing Korean. Starting off with our number 10, Dice, the cube that changes everything. Imagine you could charge your life without any bigger effort. You just have to do what a man or your phone orders you and then you earn almost anything you wish. A young boy Dongtae has a horrible life. He is not handsome or clever, has no friends, is bullied at school, and his mother is an alcoholic. The only light in his life is his schoolmate Yoonju because she is always nice to him even though she is very beautiful and popular in school. The truth is he is in secret love with her. One day, the new boy comes to Dongtae's class. His name is Taibin, and he looks like some model. He's clever and perfect on all sides. And what's more, he starts dating Yoonju. The first Dongtae wonders why life was so unfair to him. But then he finds the dice. He starts playing a strange game with a mysterious Mr. X where he has to complete easy tasks. Then he earns more dice and he can make his life better in all aspects. He becomes more clever, strong, fast, handsome, popular, and everything seems good. Number 9. Cheese in the Trap. This is a truly mature love story. If you read this wanting a simple light college romance, then this is not for you. While there are very cute interactions between the main character and her love interest, it is a very well thought out and complex manga. Definitely the most realistic I have ever read. Even though the positive reviews say it is slightly boring at the start, I have to disagree. I never found it boring at all. Or maybe that's just me. If you want to read it, the first few chapters can be a bit confusing. Number 8. Painter of the Night. Nakyum is a young painter with an exceptional talent, creating erotic images of men. Though he has published a few collections under a pseudonym, he has decided to quit painting. Then, Shungo, a young nobleman, barks into his life. A hellraiser notorious for his insatiable lust, Shunho forces Nakyum to become his private painter. However, the nights that await Nakyun are beyond anything he could have imagined. Number 7. The Gamer. Jihan loves gaming more than anything, but still comes as a shock when one day he suddenly acquires a mysterious power that superimposes RPG characteristics into real world. Talks like going into the store for his mother initiate experience earning quest, and everyone around the boy display levels and stats above their heads. But what starts as a mild curiosity suddenly becomes all the more real when Jihan discovers that there is monsters to be killed, special kills to be earned, and others who have similar abilities. Number 6. Seasons of Blossom. Wonderful story and all main characters have great depth, realistic and well-written relationship progression, non-irritating and well-written drama, plot that touches your heart, whether from cuteness or sadness. I could really feel the spring youth feelings from this. Who am I kidding? I'm still a youth, lol. But really, it makes you feel like you have experienced one of those dreamy moments. The blushing faces, the shyness, the hesitance, the friendships, the awkwardness of youth, and just all in all youth blossoming. Number 5. Sweet Home. So this manga is about the 18-year-old boy Cha Hyun-soo, whose parents tragically died in a car accident. He did not bother about that too much, and with a budget of $2,000, he continued his life. After moving in a new apartment, he realized with his way of living the money won't last up to 2 months, so he sets himself a date for committing suicide. Before he could reach that day, though, a sudden monster apocalypse took place. Isolated from the world again, he is trying to survive until the finale of a TV show he loves comes out. In the ongoing chapters, he meets new people living in the same building he lives in. On his way through the days, he discovers new sides of him and characteristics he might not like. Together, he and his newfound companions try to survive in this new and scary world. Moving on to number 4, Nobles. Nobles is an amazing Korean manhwa about a man named Rai, who awakens after being asleep for 820 years. After he awakens, he takes on the looks of a high school student and unknowingly meets an acquaintance of his, named Frankenstein, who also happens to be the chairman of the high school he wandered into. From then on, Rai decides to stay enrolled at the school as a student in order to learn about the 820 years he has happened to miss, all the while making new friends at the school, learning about the new technology, customs, and of course, the food. You will understand that later. The story may sound dense, but in fact, it is very entertaining. The main characters eventually take on enemies and little by little their identities are revealed. This manhwa literally had me laughing out loud at some moments and at other cheering on the main characters during their battles. And as the story progresses, so does the dialogue. Number 3. The God of High School. The first chapters were extremely good. I always avoided this manhwa because I thought it was all about martial arts, which I don't like very much. But the more I read, the more I realized that this isn't just about fighting and becoming stronger. This story is about much more than a competition called God of High School. In fact, after reading it for a while, I completely forgot this manga was about the tournament God of High School. This manga is pretty awesome. It has a great plot with great drawings. The style of the story feels like a Japanese manga. The pace feels very good, but about 3/5 of the way through the story jumps around a bit, so it does feel confusing. Number 2. Bastard. Jin has lived a tough life. One of his oldest memories is waking up in the hospital having received an artificial heart valve and a glass eye. And as a student, he is relentlessly bullied for his disabilities. But Jin's school life is nothing compared to his home life, where he is raised by his father, a serial killer who targets young women and forces the boy to act his accomplice. Can Jin do anything to stop his father's reign of terror without becoming the next victim? And finally, on to our number 1, Solo Leveling. One of the best mangas or manhwa I read. First, I will talk about the story. It's really entertaining. The story of the MC being the weakest and then in the course of circumstances becoming OP is really popular. But I don't know why this manga feels way more refreshing than other manga of the weak to OP genre. The art is just mind-blowing. The chara design really surprised me. It's just so detailed and beautiful, and even others who didn't like the manga would agree with me. Just look at this. This manga is eye candy. Then there is the character, the weakest point of the manga. The problem is not from them, but it depends. They are love or hate characters. If you don't like them, you probably won't get into the story. But if you love them, you will get it through. But even then, your opinion can change. I love the characters, so I could have rated higher, but in general, they are what causes manga readers to not read this masterpiece. I overall give it a 9.5 out of 10, and I think this manga is worth all the praise as the best manhwa of all time. Well, if you haven't read many fantasy webtoons yet, you can try the ones we mentioned below with all the unique recommendations. Since we only conferred you with fantasy manhwa instead of some fantasy manga, we are sure you will love them. Be sure to subscribe and like this video if you found or have fun reading any of this manhwa. Also take care and see ya next time. Adios!